Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. This is Afefe with Touch by Tarot, and I promised you all a pick a card for this new moon in Taurus partial solar eclipse that we're having today. I am filming this on Saturday, April 30th. Pray to the YouTube gods that it uploads today. If not, it should definitely upload by tomorrow. Sometimes those speeds can be atrocious. But so I was thinking, you all, I always go to Spirit and say, what's the most benefit to anyone who will come by this taping? And by the way, before I go any further, for those of you who've been with me and returning, I really, really appreciate it. I thank you. I thank you for your comments. For those of you who are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and come again, okay? So without further ado, I figure we're going to jump right in. The theme, you all, I started thinking, praying, meditating this morning, and I kept thinking new moon in Taurus, new moon in Taurus, ruled by Venus. So today's reading is, how is love calling you? How is love calling you? You know, are you listening? Are you seeing the signs? Are you being clear about how you want to function with love in your life, whether it's romantically, you know, boosting up that self-love, having communal love, you know, your tribe, your friends, those who are closest around you? Are you feeling loved and appreciated? Even in this forum, are we showing each other love and respect as we all go forward on this spiritual journey? Love. How is love calling? All right? Let's go. I'm excited. And you know my usual. I have all the cards in front of me, but I have not seen them, so I will be revealing and interpreting as I film, as I show you, okay? So we got 3 piles. Pile number 1 is going to choose, it's this beautiful sunstone pyramid. All right, make sure you get a good look at that. That's pile number 1, sunstone pyramid. Okay, pile number 2 is this lovely, beautiful, gorgeous jasper. I said that like I didn't think the sunstone was as good, you know, went all in the sunstone, you know, and even to me, that whole pyramid shape is very, very sacred. So pile number 1, pile number 2, the jasper, and pile number 3, beautiful piece of quartz that a friend of mine brought me back from Nepal, you guys. All the way straight from the earth in Nepal. Quartz. All right? So think about that. Meditate on that for a moment. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. Got it. All right, let's get ready to go. See how love is calling you. All right? Let's go. Pile number 1, for those of you who were vibing with this sunstone. I have my usual combination of oracles and tarot. No idea. I get excited partially because, you know, it's a reveal for me as well, you know, just like it is for you. I don't know what's coming until I start flipping these cards. So let's see here. How is love calling? How is love calling? Okay, let's start with the difficult part first. The only difficult card that I see, actually 2, they kind of work hand in hand, that it looks like is getting cleared out in order for you to hear love's call. And one is grieving. So for those of you who chose pile 1, you could have either gone through some sort of breakup, some sort of misunderstanding. You could have even been at a stage of life where you're just, it didn't happen recently, but you're going through like a phase of nostalgia and just grieving what was, and maybe feeling like love has passed you by on some level, okay? And what Spirit is saying here is they want you to express those feelings, because grieving is a process. And there's no magic switch to it. There's no, okay, well, been there, did that, I'm over it. Especially when we get around the moons, and you will constantly hear people talk about releasing, letting go, releasing, letting go, right? And it's like, how do we do that? It is a process. You have to come to terms with what has happened. You can't go back and rewind time. For those of you who have lost loved ones, who have lost a spouse or partner or someone you were in love with, there is that grieving, and nobody has a timetable on that. Grieving could be 5 years, it could be 20 years, but there is a process. Only you will know that. And you can't get to a point where you just say, okay, forget it, I'm not going to think about it because I don't want to deal with it. You've got to express those feelings. Spirit wants you to express those feelings, because that's how you will begin to hear love's call for you. There is a way of compromising at this stage of life, how you define happiness, romantic happiness, how you define love. Perhaps this makes me think again, for those who may be grieving, what makes you happy today? Your definition of love today, your definition of what it takes for you to get your loving buzz on, as it were, for you to get into that Venus mode and feel like you want to be held, like you want to kiss, like you want tenderness, or like you just want a warm hug and embrace, or talking about that self-love where you can, get in a mirror and genuinely like what you see. Tough. Trust me. I need to be holding up a mirror right now for this one. So there is that sense of compromise and adjustment for how you anticipate love showing up in your life at this point in time. It may not look the same as it used to, and it's not supposed to. How we define happiness, as we journey through life, as we go through various experiences, as we experience the highs and the lows of love, and understanding that sometimes what we give is not always reciprocated. What we anticipated does not always come through, but that does not mean that love is not calling. And what can happen is, if we're not careful, we get a little hard of hearing, especially if you have been going through that grieving process, if you've been feeling nostalgic, if you've been feeling like so much time has passed you by that it's like, maybe I should just, get myself accustomed to thinking I can do without it. I'm self-sufficient. It doesn't matter whether I have a partner, a loved one, a lover, a spouse. It doesn't matter whether I have a squad who supports me and loves me, my girlfriends, my boyfriends. It doesn't really matter. I can just do it all on my own. Is that your definition of happiness? Might have to, I would say here another word for compromise is adjust. Might be some adjustments Spirit is saying you need to make in order to hear that call, how love is calling you. Now, know this. Love is calling. We have pile number 1, that sunstone. We have the Empress who's come, ruled by Venus, new moon in Taurus. Here she is. All right? So, love is calling. You need to own that. Own that. I keep pointing to my head, but they're saying no. Go to the heart. You need to own that. Read up about the Empress. Read up about Aphrodite. Read up about love goddesses, and loving energy and the magic of love, the wonders of love. Read up on Tantra. Read up on the Kama Sutra. Read up on the ways that love and fruitfulness and bounty. Read up on Gaia, and how love is supposed to be tangible. It is supposed to show up, and so that you can literally bathe in it. Check it out, you all. 2 different tarot decks. We have ourselves the 8 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles, Earth, Taurus, new moon, Earth sign. I mean, they're like, brrr, we are speaking. Are you listening? Okay. This 8 is about work that has been done, a level of mastery. So have you been willing to continue to do the work and simply say, I will not accept less than I deserve in this earthly experience. If love hasn't shown up for me thus far, then that just means I still have some other places to look. I still have work that I need to do. Maybe that grieving process and healing that heart so that the one who is drawn to you, remember, like attracts like. You don't want to attract someone who is also in pain or who is also still grieving, or if you do, it needs to be that you're both on a path of wellness and healing that so that you can get to the joyous aspect, that happiness and the compromise that needs to take place to have that happiness. That's that eight of pentacles or earth energy. It is about building. You see all those roots that are in that ground and the busy bee and all the work that is being done in order for those flowers to grow. This is about having the fortitude to master the art of love. Because when that Nine of Pentacles comes is when you begin to see the gains. It's when it begins to actually show up in your life. And your final card, how does it show up in your life? Look at that, the Three of Cups, the card of celebration, the card of joy, the card of abundance, the card of because it comes in that watery element, the card of feeling good and perhaps, tears of joy instead of tears of sorrow, right? That's what you gain. That's that Nine of Pentacles. You gain the opportunities of joy and celebration. You gain that because you've mastered the art of love through the energy of the Empress. You've decided that you will be a master of your own fate and invite love in. Invite it in. Do you hear it calling? Invite it in. Lean your spiritual ear into it. Okay, love, I know you're there. Spirit, the guides have said you are there. I'm listening. Come on for me. And meanwhile, express those feelings. Call out to it. Deal with that. If you've been, shoving that down, pushing that down, so busy just trying to get on with life, so busy trying to convince yourself, oh, I'm getting older, nobody's going to want me. I don't look the same. I don't feel the same. And all that stuff that begins to pile up on us. And Spirit is like, hold up. Look at all those roots that you've grown over these years. Look at all that. I sent someone a picture recently. They've got Helen Mirren on the cover of People as one of the most beautiful people. It's their beautiful issue. And she is standing there and she said, I don't even call it beauty. I call it swagger. 76 years old. Stop it. Okay, pile one. So that's your deal. Finish your, recognize and finish your grieving process. Deal with that. Get that done so that you begin to stop looking at what has happened and begin to anticipate more what could happen, what's still available to you. And apparently it is a lot. Here's your go-to, the Empress. Get you some pictures of the Empress or Gaia or Aphrodite, again, whatever images invoke or evoke a sense of love and sensuality and also self-care and self-love and having loving people around you, feeling loved and supported, how that comes to you, how you picture it and how you feel like you deserve it, because that Three of Cups and celebration is there for you. All right, let me know when it happens. All right, we're going to move on to our pile number 2. Those of you who chose this beautiful Jasper, and see what shows up here. How is love calling you? My pile number 2. All right. Kinda. Let's see. You know what? Okay. Pile number 2, I was saying a moment ago, you all might want to even take a look at pile number 1 as well. There's a little crossover here. It looks like some of you are playing mind games on yourselves, because right away I get conflict. And that conflict is worry. It's imagined worry about what could happen if you put your heart on the line, because you have definitely been burned. I get justice. They're coming at me quick on this. I can't pull the cards fast enough. You get justice and judgment. I would venture that many of you who chose this deck have gone through divorce, like actual legal procedures, divorce, or you have seen those you love go through that process, and you know what it does. You know how devastating it can be, and the idea that, you know, how long will it last? That not everything that has that potential to last will, and that life can take its toll. And so there's that anxiety that's kind of built up around the topic of love. I would not be surprised if many of you who chose this Jasper are extremely self-sufficient. You have taught yourselves how to care for yourselves, and you probably do feel a sense of love and connection to your heart space in your own way. But calling in love, inviting it in from other sources, that definitely is coming up as a bit of a conflict for you. And I do believe it's because of either something you have gone through or something that you have witnessed where it got ugly. It got ugly. And you'd rather just, you'd rather just do it your own way than even, take a chance on having to have that experience. However, here comes Spirit round in the corner. So let me put those over there and deal with these next 4 cards. However, some of you guys have a secret admirer. And I got that secret admirer coming with the Knight of Cups. Someone who wants to come with love, or a situation that would make you feel like love is coming toward you and calling you. Secret admirer. This, even as strange as it may sound, this even feels a little spiritual to me. Like your guides or a guide who will come to help in this particular area of your life loves you. I wonder if it is even a past life lover. Oof, I didn't expect that, but I'm gonna go with it. I wonder if it is a past life lover. And so if that is the case, or even in the physical, I hope it's in the physical as well. Maybe that past life lover can help in the spiritual realm to bring someone in the physical toward you. But it is there. It's calling you. It is there. You have not seen it yet, secret admirer. That sounds like someone who already knows you, who has observed you or is observing you, and just has not gotten it together to come toward you. Knights are movement. This would be actually coming toward you. And so what Spirit wants you to do, oh my goodness, okay. We have the 2 of Pentacles here. That is about partnership. That is about partnership. And it is about the choice to grow something with someone. It could be, if I step back just a little bit from a lover's perspective, it could even be making the decision to grow something in your life that you love dearly. It could be to work on a project or work with people, and within that group, your secret admirer could emerge. You can't put limits on Spirit. You can't put limits on it. And your overarching message for how love is calling and to be ready is to focus on the positive. This makes so much sense in relation to those earlier cards that we saw, because if what you have witnessed has been harshness, you've gone, like I said, for those of you some of you may have gone through a divorce, or you witnessed pain and heartache around you, and situations where people were torn apart. You witnessed that, and it helped form your relationship to what you were willing to accept, and it didn't sit well with you. It wasn't pretty. And so now, even when you approach the subject, you get a little conflicted about it. There's that this feels like inner conflict. It's like, I want it, but I don't want the hassle. I want it, but I don't want to ever have to go through that pain of having invested so much of myself into something only to see it torn away from me. And that can, like I said, that can even extend to friendships. You know, the idea that anyone or anything that you invest your heart, your mind, your energy, your soul into, and then to have it taken away either through death, you know, anger, you know, disagreements where people just grow apart, all of those things. But here you got it. Spirit says, despite all of that, love is calling when you focus on the positive. When you think about, despite all of that, surely you have known love in this lifetime. And just imagine, this feels like, especially with this new moon in Taurus, this Venus energy, just imagine, you know, what would it be like? I don't know how many of you may have heard of the show, the Netflix show. Oh gosh, it's the one where they're all, it's like a period piece. Oh my goodness. It's like a period piece, like and they're the queen, like they're in these old British, takes place in the 1700s. Bridgerton, that's it, Bridgerton. You know, and it's all about this hot and heavy romance and all the sort of, you know, certainly outdated notions of romance, but the way that they have to show passion and depict passion on that show is really incredible, because it makes me think of this energy when someone is really into you, but there may not be the obvious signs of it, and so you have to be willing to open yourself, you know, be willing to have that partnership. And put aside, know that despite what you witnessed or what you went through, focus on the positive. That's how love is calling you. As you focus on the positive, as you answer that call. And I'm sorry for those of you who have gone through that painful separation, divorce, those of you whose love was taken advantage of. I get it, but love is calling. And, you know, maybe closer than you think. All right, moving on, my pile number 3, that beautiful quartz. Let's see how love is calling you. You know, I'm almost going to say for some of you, it might be worthwhile. I don't know how long this tape is going to wind up being, but it might be worthwhile for you all to watch it from start to finish, because there is a theme, and it makes sense just in terms of, you know, being human on this earth and the things that we go through. Because my pile number 3, who pulled this quart, what jumps out at me right away are 2 cards. Toxicity and learn from your mistakes. Toxicity and learn from your mistakes. That kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? You've been through some stuff, you know? Some things happened and it got a little lopsided. It left its mark. And for you, what I like and what I'm feeling here, let me go ahead and pull this one up, is I see healing. So you all are doing the work. This pile number 3, you all are doing the work, and you recognize the signs. You are learning from your mistakes. And I think for you, when love is calling, there's a process that you're going through where you have to examine very closely what that call is, because you are very alert to any signs of toxicity. You know, anyone who exhibits narcissistic behavior, anyone who exhibits any violent tendencies, any deceptive, you know, cheaters, anyone who is trying to, you know, that vampire energy, you know, who wants to just take from you and receive the love you have to give without having it to offer in return. You're like, I bet you I won't. I bet you I won't. And so there's that healing process. There's that healing process. And I just looked down and saw this. There's that healing process, solitude. Wow, this is fitting together so well. Thank you, Spirit. So because of what you went through, those who chose this pile number 3, this quartz, because of that, you have done the healing work, or you are still in, in the process of that healing work. And it made you choose that path of solitude for a while, because rather than just jump into something else. And I give you credit for that, because very often when it comes to matters of the heart, sometimes when we go through something, the tendency, serial dating, as it were. And the tendency is to try and heal yourself by finding someone else to scratch your back a little bit. And pile number 3, you all have said, not doing that. I am going to own myself. I'm going to own my power. I'm going to cleanse and purify. Because what happened there, it took a toll. But again, either if you have not learned from your mistakes, you're in that process of doing so. It won't happen again. It will not happen again. And I just looked down and saw this. You know why it won't happen again? Check it out. You got the Tower. It won't happen again because whatever it was so strong and it made such a fundamental impact on your life. Your spirit guides are even stepping in to say, not to worry. You will not go down that road again. That energy will not approach you again. That energy has been destroyed. Whew. So here we go. Here we go. Sooner or later, when you are ready, when you come out of this period of solitude and that healing, here comes the Fool saying, okay, love is calling, and I'm ready to embark on a new journey. I trust myself. I trust my instincts. I trust my intuition. I trust my guides. We're like, oh, I bet you they won't. I bet you they won't. And I'm focusing on a person because this feels like a person, or several relationships that did this to you, that there was a pattern of people who tended to treat you this way. And so something broke. It was just finally like, I've had it. I won't do this again. And there has been this period of solitude, but love is calling. Love is calling, or it will. Be ready, because you will embark on something else. Don't pull the curtain. It ain't the final act yet. There is something coming. The 7 of Pentacles is there's going to be possibly even several to choose from, or several opportunities to choose from. This feels like love is calling to you in terms of what you do in your life's work as well as relationships. That could be your path to healing, is to put yourself around people and to find ways to love what you're doing, to tap into a loving vibration, not just in a romantic context, but to tap into it through animals, through loving people, through groups who do good works, through volunteering even, so that you begin to, that heart center begins to really vibrate. Because your final card is the 10 of Cups. Look how happy that is. And this doggone ring light. Look how happy that is, though. Okay? Look at that hummingbird up at the very top, getting that nectar. All right? And the humans feeding off of all of that. That's what they want you to see. That's how it will feel for you when love calls. The rainbows and the beauty of that. That's how it will feel. What a tremendous shift in energy from here to there. Right? What a tremendous shift in energy from here to there. That's how love's gonna call you. That's how you will feel it. And you gotta be ready to go. There's risk. There's risk when the Fool shows up. There's no blueprint. There's risk, but it will be worth it. All right? So get your healing work, finish it up, do what you gotta do. Trust, trust, trust. It will not happen again. It will not happen again. And be ready. All right? That's what I got, you all. I'll talk to you soon. Please leave me your comments, and have a wonderful week. Enjoy this energy, this new moon in Taurus, and I'll catch you a little later. Bye.